Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at the second film in the Tales of the Wild West collection #2 box set from Imprint. So obviously we didn't look at 5 card stud because we've already reviewed that in the past via a Vinegar Syndrome release. So we are skipping over towards our second film in this box set, and it is 1967's Will Penny. So this is directed by Tom Gries, who also did Breakheart Pass, Breakout. Both of those came out in '75, as well as Earth 2, which we looked at in my most recent update video. So it is a Western, clocks in at 110 minutes long, stars Charlton Heston, who was also in the previous box set in Three Violent People. We've also got Joan Hackett, who was in The Last of Sheila and The Terminal Man. Donald Pleasance, who I've seen in 32 other films, obviously most well known for his horror roles, you know, in Halloween series and the like, but non-horror roles, I've enjoyed plenty of them from before as well, like Soldier Blue, You Only Live Twice, The Eagle Has Landed, and The Man Inside. You've also got Lee Majors, who he's obviously quite a well-known star, but he's mostly been in like TV. So the only major film role I've seen him in before would be the likes of The Liberation of L.B. Jones. You've also got Bruce Dern, who I've seen in 28 other films. Favourites from him would be the likes of The Driver, The Burbs, Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Black Sunday, and Silent Running. And then because we've got a huge cast in this film, I'm not going to go through every other favourite film from the rest of this cast, but I will say that you've got Ben Johnson in this, who I've seen in 17 other films, Slim Pickens, who I've seen in 12 other films, Clifton James, who I've seen in 15 other films, and Anthony Zerbe, who I've seen in 16 other films. Last two of those being in different Bond films throughout the years. So yeah, Will Penny is an aging cowpoke who's been hired as a line rider, keeping trespassers and squatters off the vast cattle ranch. When he discovers that his own mountain cabin is occupied by a desperate woman and a young son, he takes pity and allows them to stay until the spring thaw. But when a murderous band of rawhiders, led by the Bible-bashing preacher Quint, invade their refuge, Will must defend not just the property but his newfound family. So yeah, as exciting as that sounds, that doesn't actually really come into the plot for a good 40 or so minutes. For the first 40 or so minutes, you are dealing with other elements. And although this isn't devoid of any action, as there is a solid, albeit small-scale action scene in the final act, this is far more focused on its characters, their interactions, and providing a grounded plot, which a good portion of that first 40 or so minutes does provide. This also isn't interested in grand landscapes, showdowns, or being overly violent like so many westerns are, so it does feel kind of unique in that respect. That said, this is nonetheless engaging throughout. While the cast is great, the pacing is on point, the character interactions are effective, the score is good, it is well shot, the romance aspect is convincing, and its tone comes across as far more grown up than some similar efforts from the time. So yeah, I really rather enjoyed this. I think the fact that it took its time to just build up atmosphere and characters and setting and all that lot, it just really worked in its favour, to be honest, and made it a far more different kind of film to watch from, you know, the genre of Western, but also from the 60s as well in that genre. Yeah, it just really helped set it apart. So gonna give this ultimately a 4 out of 5. Really solid start to this box set in terms of films I've not seen before. Obviously, like I said, when unboxing this box set, I have seen 5 card stud before. I believe I gave that 3.5 out of 5 when I originally reviewed it from Vinegar Syndrome. So that itself would have been a solid start, but if we'd have started from that. But this, yeah, as far as the films I've not seen before, to get 4 out of 5 is a cracking kick-off for this box set, to be honest. So yeah, I've got a 1080p high definition presentation of this film. So that's 185:1 aspect ratio, LPCM 2.0 mono audio, English language soundtrack with optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Looks and sounds really rather good, to be honest. You got audio commentary as well on this by film historian Daniel Kramer from 2026. Then you got Remembering Will Penny featurette, The Cowboys of Will Penny featurette, and theatrical trailer as well. So decent amount of extras there, but the film itself is really what we're here for, and yeah, it is really good. Certainly got one of the best castings for a Western from the 60s, and certainly in terms of ones that I've never heard of before. Obviously, we know about all the other iconic Westerns from that time, like The Wild Bunch and the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, and Once Upon a Time in the West and the like, which also had excellent casts, but they're more well-known films. I hadn't heard of this at all, despite, you know, seeing several other films from the cast members before. So it's really nice to see an ensemble cast while also, you know, being a genuinely good film in its own right. So yeah, highly recommend Will Penny, to be honest, and it's like I said, kicks off this box set in terms of the films I've not seen before in really, really fine style. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen Will Penny before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.